Stockton behind Carmelo. Stockton whips under, there's big one.
I was nervous every game. I was nervous every game my whole career. But once you lace up your shoes and walk on that court, you have to be ready to play.
Markey.
You hear the crowd in the background. You know where each other is. You know what we need to do to win the game. And you've got to make the big shot. You have to make the big stop. When you win, it's very exciting. It's like, that's what it's like. When I was on the court during my 12 years with the Utah Jazz, I had to really get myself in a zone where I was the biggest, baddest player on the court that night. Now, if you were going to really compare me to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Hakeem Olajuwon or something like that, you'd say, no way. But in my mind, in order to prepare to play those guys, that's what I thought about myself. That's how I got myself ready to play. There's a tendency to think basketball is just a game and everybody kind of does the same thing. But a winning team really has very specific roles and responsibilities and tries to leverage each person's strengths and assets that they bring to the game. I think knowing the fact that we had a strategic game plan, that's something we could count on, and that if we executed it well, we'd be successful, I think really gave all of us a comfort walking out on the floor that we knew what we had to do.
Little tilt to the left. Have to turn the lights up to see what we're doing. If you look straight up, you should see a double ring of little tiny white lights.
The human eye is basically an outpost of the brain. It may be one of the most complex parts of the body.
Up, left, down.
When a patient comes in here for a LASIK surgery, accuracy, well, it's paramount. These are lasers, and the reason lasers are sophisticated is they're highly calibrated. And so everything is done in this room with precision in mind. These lasers have to be correctly positioned within a room. This entire room that we're in is climate controlled. That allows us to make sure the lasers are always in the same climate, which is really important for their calibration, for their mirrors.
Here we go, still. It's looking good.
These machines are so sophisticated that they will take into account the position of the patient. So if a patient were to move or to twitch, these lasers already calibrate to move with that patient. And that gives us an incredible amount of trust that when we come in for a surgery day, that things are working the way we like them to work. And we hope that sort of confidence comes across to the patient.
The military is not for the faint of heart. It's not for everybody. And anybody that tells you they weren't scared, they're lying to you. In the old cartoon G.I. Joe, they used to say, knowing is half the battle. In the military and combat, strategic positioning is the other half of the battle. You want to take an advantage. You want strategic positioning of the high ground. Now, we're not talking about the moral high ground. We're literally talking about the physical terrain of the high ground. And you want that high ground at all times. You want that position. Why do you want it? Because, you can observe the enemy. You can watch where they're going. You can hit them. It's much easier for you to attack them. Defensively, you have cover and concealment. People can't see you. It's harder for them to hit you. If you're in combat and you don't have the high ground, it's going to take a lot of sacrifice to get that high ground. Meaning you can be technologically more advanced, you could overwhelm the enemy, or you can get them to understand that this isn't as important as I thought it was, I'm going to leave on my own, and then you can take it. So how do you position yourself so that you can be successful? It's all about people. You fight for your team, you fight for the man to your left and to your right. You don't want to let that person down because they're not going to let you down. And so when you can rely on each other and trust each other and communicate with each other, great things can happen. And in business, it's pretty similar.
Right now, the investment world is full of uncertainties. There's the pandemic, there's the economic factors, there's political factors, and all these things will happen, and they'll continue to happen in the future. As a commercial real estate investment firm, we've talked to a lot of our investors and a lot of other people, and they're cautious right now. And you know what? We can understand why. The truth is, We can't control all the external factors coming in at us, and we don't have the crystal ball that will tell us what the future holds.
But we do have the tools and expertise to strategically position ourselves for success.
Just like any other industry, whether it be professional sports, medical field, military, or any other industry, success depends on strategic positioning. Right now, commercial real estate investors have an opportunity. Not only can they weather the cycle, but they can leverage this environment to their advantage.
So what are we waiting for? Let's get positioned.